Hi, and welcome to the live episode of Castoshi. This is a live news segment, and it's for September the 1st, 2022, in case you're watching the recording later. So the first thing I want to do is give a shout out to Damex, our sponsor. They're a OTC crypto trading company based in Gibraltar. And if you've got large amounts of crypto you want to convert to or from fiat, they're the right company to do it. Okay. I'd also like to give a disclaimer that all opinions in this show are our own, our being me and Mark, and we are not doing this show in any capacity as financial advisors. So this is just our own views. So with that, I'd like to introduce Mark from Knightsbridge. Would you like to just introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you, Zubair. Thank you, Damex. My name is Mark Rees. I'm from a company called Knightsbridge Corporations. We're based here in Gibraltar. We offer company management services, business services, etc., etc. But we're here to talk a little bit about crypto today. So we do offer some crypto advice and things like that. But again, this is not financial advice. This is our own personal opinions. So yes, welcome.
Okay, great. Okay, so the first news item I'd like to talk about is: would you give back $10 million? So basically, two sisters in Australia received $10 million by mistake from crypto.com. This was back in May 2021. And it happened because the sisters asked for $100 refund for something, and they got back 10.5 million. And they're saying that they thought the money was theirs because they were always seeing these like offers on crypto.com and other exchanges saying, you know, win this prize, win that prize, like $1 million here, $100,000 there. So they thought it was a legitimate prize. So they kept the money and they spent a lot of it. But crypto.com is trying to sue them and asking for the money back. Now, I know personally, just because of how I operate, I would have given the money back. But I kind of think that they deserve to keep it because so many people have lost money from these exchanges. And I think it's good that if it goes the other way sometimes. And when I say a lot of people lost money, that's myself included. So especially me. What do you think, Mark?
Well, I love this news article. I think this is fabulous because normally it's the other way around with these exchanges, losing money, losing Bitcoin, holding on to your Bitcoin or holding on to any of the crypto that you can't get hold of. And basically you are in their hands, they own you. So it's nice to see it flipped around with these two sisters in Australia. I haven't seen this news story. I think it's absolutely brilliant. I've got to say it's brilliant. I mean, and that's from 2021.
Well, they're suing them now, though. Crypto.com is suing them now. I mean, what do you think they should do? Do you think crypto.com should sue them?
Have crypto.com, did they ever get the money back? No.
No, I think they're asking for the money back now. And the sisters are saying, no, we thought we legitimately received it.
Right, so they
and why wouldn't they? There was all these prizes being given out. All crypto was saying, oh, free money. So why wouldn't they think that?
I like these sisters, and I say, I mean, when you got any of your crypto or any of fiat on the exchange, basically this exchange holds your wallet, owns your wallet. So they, I presume, were very cleverly taking it out of their crypto.com wallet and put it into a personal one. Otherwise, crypto.com would have had it back. Would have just
I think what happened was they bought a whole bunch of stuff with the money, and they took it out of the wallet, which is what you should do. I mean,
yeah, they've done everything right.
Yeah.
If it was the other way, I think these sisters would have a hell of a battle on their hands to get their money back. You know, so I'm all for these girls.
And it's not like crypto.com is poor. Yeah. I mean, if that was all their assets, it would be a different case.
Yeah. I mean, Crypto.com went big, went really big.
Mm.
I mean, they did the Super Bowl advert. They had all the stars and the celebrities going for it. And this is back in January with the all-time high on Bitcoin and all the other crypto and altcoins. And then they're busy sacking all their staff now because they're not, which all the exchanges are, So I wouldn't say they're in trouble, but their high times have gone. So of course they're going to try and get it back. I think the question you're asking, personally, would I keep it? It's a tough call, that one. It's a tough call. If they didn't know who I was, I would keep it, I would probably say. But they do know who these ladies are. So what happens if you spend the money? Can they get it back? If it was a banking mistake, which does happen every so often, people get sent £1 million instead of £1,000. The banks always get their money back. Always get their money out. But what they might do is give you a little treat of an extra £1,000. So maybe that's what Crypto.com should be offering.
Well, I think the thing is here is Crypto.com, they could use this as a massive PR campaign to say we are not an evil crypto company, and that's what I think they should do. Okay. And you're right what you're saying about banking. Like many years ago, when I needed the money, I received like £9,000 in my account, and I was kind of broke at the time. And I, as soon as I found out, I went to the bank and I gave them the money. Instead of saying thank you, they said, "Oh, it's a good thing you did it, because otherwise we do, we have ways of getting it back from you." I was like, "Oh, wow!" It made me really regret telling them.
So they didn't even notice.
No, they didn't notice. No, I didn't notice for like a couple of weeks because I never went to the cash point because I was so broke. So,
yeah, no, it's interesting. I wonder how. So Crypto.com must have picked up on the mistake, I presume, and contacted these sisters.
Yeah, I think it was in. I'm not sure. I think it was in December, but. That they noticed it, but I think it was too late by then, and it's just going on and on. And like you said, it's funny that it's happening the other way. So
but I'll be watching this. I'm going to find out all the details, and perhaps we'll update periodically as we find more information about it.
Yeah, we could do that. Okay. Yeah. So should we move on to the next item? What do you want to do? Do you want to do Hodlnaut versus Craig Wright?
Why not?
All right. So, okay, there's so many things here. So, actually, you describe it if you want, and because I've got a lot to say.
Yeah, I think. Well, a quick précis. Hodlnaut claimed that CSW Craig S Wright was not Satoshi. I may have got a few of these little nuances wrong, and that was all over Twitter. So. Craig S Wright now is suing Hodlnaut, who's based in Norway.
I think he's Norway. Yeah.
Well, I think it's Norway. Yeah. Certainly Scandinavian countries. Sorry for any Scandinavians watching, and I mixed up any countries. And Hodlnaut is basically saying that you aren't Craig S Wright, and how do we prove that? And how can anyone prove who Satoshi is? There isn't any way of knowing. Satoshi released the white paper 13 and a half years ago, and nobody's found out who Satoshi is. So, whichever way you look at it, and I don't believe CSW's Satoshi. We can talk about who we think Satoshi is in a future episode. But yes, it'll be a huge court case. Starting in the next couple of weeks. And the good thing about Hodlnaut, obviously defamation of character or whatever the wording is looking at what is a person of the masses. The big phrase is we're all Hodlnaut. If Craig S Wright takes over and claims he's Satoshi and wins the case, the decentralization of Bitcoin could happen. The decentralization could be affected by that. So,
are you saying if Craig Wright is Satoshi?
Yeah. I think if he is, this moves away from the whole ethos of Bitcoin, where it's decentralized. No one's in charge. No one's done this. No one's done that. We're all a community.
Well, I don't think he can decentralize. You can see in the show notes, I've actually written a few possibilities for Craig Wright. First thing I've said is, do I think is he Craig Wright? And I say it's all about probability. There's 8 billion people on the planet, but I don't think it's a 1 in 8 billion chance that he's Satoshi.
No.
I think it's probably based on the evidence, because I disagree with what you said. Who can prove they're Satoshi? If you've got the keys, the early keys, does that prove you're Satoshi? No, but it's an indication.
It is an indication. So, but a lot of people are basing the whole thing, right? Whoever has these keys to these, that is Satoshi. Where I think you summed it up well. It's an indication. It's an indication. It's not a definitive answer.
But this guy doesn't even have. He could show he's got the keys. So I think based on a lot of his history, I think there's a 1 in 1,000 chance that he's Satoshi. But funnily enough, on this very podcast, on an earlier episode, I think it was Juan Gasco, and he said, "Oh, I've met Satoshi Nakamoto," and what he meant was, "I've met Craig Wright," basically. So people in the crypto space, there are people who are being sucked into this, and they think he is Satoshi.
And there's a lot of people. I'm a big fan of crypto Twitter, but you have to take crypto Twitter like any other field on Twitter. You have to take it with a huge pinch of salt. But there's a lot of people there who are believing that Craig Wright is Satoshi, and there's a lot of people on there who believe that it's all a lot of nonsense. But I'm surprised that so many people maybe people are looking for a figurehead.
Yeah, they do want that figurehead.
Yeah. You've got your army behind you or something like that, or you've got a population behind you. Personally, I don't think you need a figurehead of any way, shape, or form for this.
People want to worship someone, but by the way, there are people who know who he is or who he was, but those people are being quiet. They're keeping quiet.
We can talk about that. Personally, I did a lot of research of it years ago. And it's got, in my opinion, it's got to be a group of people. To have an economist, to have a cryptographer, to have a mathematician, to have all of this wrapped into one person is such a unique skill set that I just can't believe it's one person. But
in a way, it was many people, because you think about it, when Bitcoin came, several people had tried to make digital cash before. So, like cryptography and that had existed for many years before Bitcoin. So like for 20, you could say even many more years before Bitcoin came about, people were trying to do this. Yeah. So in that way, it was a work of many people, who did it.
100%.
Okay. So, I did have I had four theories, which I'd seen on Craig. One is he flat out lying? He's not Satoshi, and he's got nothing to do with it, and he's just doing all of this so that he can not get sued by the Australian tax office. Theory 2: Craig's not Satoshi, but he was involved and knows who the real Satoshi is, e.g., Kleinman. I think that is the case myself. Third one is Craig is Satoshi and can prove it. However, he wanted to create fake proofs that he could retract later on. There is a chance that maybe he wants to have plausible deniability that he's Satoshi so that he doesn't have to pay a big tax bill. That's possible.
Okay.
Theory 4, Craig is Satoshi, but he lost and deleted all his Satoshi stuff. A lot of people have deleted projects. We've all done it, lost the hard disk or whatever, and now he's trying to get it all back.
Yeah. You'd like to think, it could happen. You'd like to think the inventor of it knows exactly how it works and has written.
You think, but when you listen to him talk, I've listened to a lot of his talks, and he always he never seems to explain it properly. He tries to like blind people with buzzwords,
right?
And that's. But then he can say something really clever on the one hand, then he says something with total buzzwords. And I do wonder if he's just trying to troll people. And maybe he is Satoshi. But at the moment, based on the evidence, 1 in 1,000, since he does have the skills to have possibly done this. He does, to be sure.
All right. I mean, my little theory is perhaps because somebody named him as Satoshi. It wasn't himself, was it? I think somebody named him.
Yes, he was outed. He was outed in like 2015 or something.
Maybe he thought, oh yeah, why not? And then, like any human being, when you are trapped in a corner and you've said something or done something, you defend yourself and you come out fighting. It's gone so far now that you can't retract it now. That's another theory.
Yeah, I mean, I think also a lot of people, it's his personality type. When they hear his arrogant personality and his kind of geekiness, I think people don't like him as a person, the way he talks.
Yeah.
And it just, his whole ethos seems to go against the crypto community of prove that you're something by signing transactions. So, but anyway, I don't know, but the item we were talking about, Hodlnaut versus Craig Wright, is another case of Craig Wright suing him. Is that? And he tried to dox him. He tried to get people. And I thought that was kind of bad. He's trying to dox Hodlnaut to get his identity out.
I'm not sure. I presume it was done. But I'd have to look that up.
All right.
But Hodlnaut, whether you want to support that person or not, there's various fundraisers going on, selling of artworks, NFTs, everything that's going towards Hodlnaut's case, because I think it's going to cost about 6 million to do. So there's various websites out there. If you wanted to give anything towards it, that's up to you.
Okay. Okay. Should we move on to the next item now? Crypto prices. So Bitcoin under 20k, ETH 15, 1,550, BNB 287. So, I mean, what can you say about the prices? I mean, it's funny because if you look at Bitcoin is the same price as it was 5 years ago.
And that's interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm trying to think when I first got into. Yeah, maybe 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago.
Let's see what Bitcoin.
I mean, obviously, it fluctuates a lot in between that as well. I've been in crypto about 5 years. And I'm trying to think the lowest I've seen is about 4,000.
4,000? Since you've been to Bitcoin?
Since I've been into Bitcoin. So, and the funny thing is now, and I think most people are the same, once you get into the crypto, you're looking at the price charts every hour of every day.
I don't do that anymore, actually.
And I used to do that anymore either.
Yeah.
One is often too depressing, and two, you lose too much sleep over it. So, I haven't really looked at it in the last couple of days, but I think you must be on the nose with those figures. For me, Bitcoin's just going sideways. A lot of people talk about the 4-year cycle, things like that, associated with halving. But I think if it was the 4-year cycle or the halving, I think we're up to 2025 for the next massive breakout on an ATH. ETH, again, I think we mentioned this before, it's just with the merge. You've got to assume that's going to be going up. BNB, I've got to say, I don't think I've ever looked at BNB.
Oh, so BNB is the Binance Smart Chain. I mean, basically a copy of Ethereum, but what they've done is they made it super fast because they've got a few kind of centralized validators, and a lot of people moved away from Ethereum to Binance Smart Chain. So
Oh, it is popular.
yeah,
I've never, don't think I've traded in it or anything. And that's only been going about 2 years, I suppose. It can't be long.
okay. I'm just looking now. So December 2017, Bitcoin was at 19,000.
Yeah. So that's four and a half years ago. 4.5 years ago. What was it like 5 years ago today? Can you check
5
that?
years ago was in September was 4,000.
4,000. Well, I think that's when I started getting into it, and that's the lowest I bought was 4,000. But
Oh wow!
I bought it at 4,000 a few different occasions as well. Maybe 2 years after that, 2.5 years. 2019, maybe it went down to 4,000, 5,000.
Well, don't forget, after that, in year 2019, it went down to 3,500, basically.
Yeah.
So,
and that must have been March, April time, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was about that was actually from Jan 2019, because it stayed at about 8,000 in 2018, and then it slowly went down. And if history is anything to go by, that means we could see Bitcoin go down to about 10,000 still.
All right.
But we still haven't got past that 2017 high, though. So I think it did actually hit over 19,000. I remember at the time. So anyway, personally, I think Bitcoin's cheap, even at 100K, but that's my personal opinion. I think it's cheap. Anyway, but yeah, if you're looking at prices, though, to be honest, you're looking at the wrong thing. I mean, a lot of people are looking for the next big thing. I know that, and a lot of people are always saying to me, "Oh, which crypto is going to burst out?" And they just want easy money. But I always say the same thing: if you want to make money in crypto, learn Solidity. Learn smart contracts. That will make you quite wealthy in a few years, I think. And stop looking at prices, because if you learn Solidity, you'll start to understand how the ecosystem works, and at least you'll be able to spot the things which are just duds.
Well, there's plenty of duds out there. Plenty of dead coins out there.
Yeah, plenty of dud coins out there. Yeah. Okay, so should we go to the next item?
Yeah, go on.
Argentina are saying you can pay tax in crypto, and my take on this is like one of the states or one of the provinces in Argentina. Like, my take on it is, it's so that they can find out who's got crypto wallets not paying their tax, because Argentina has something like 70% inflation at the moment. And funnily enough, if you'd said to me 70% 2 years ago, I'd say that's so high. But now that the UK, some banks are saying they could be at 22% inflation, I'm just like, 70%, yeah, I could see it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I hadn't thought about that, but yeah, that could be a very, very interesting take on it.
Well, the thing is, the government doesn't want people to have too much crypto, because basically they want them to be buying their local currency. Yeah,
that's how it works.
But I mean, I think if I zoom out and I see the big picture, when I see things like this, I just see this as the dollarization of the world. I think quite soon a lot of countries are going to say, forget it, we're not going to bother with our own currency, we're just going to switch to the dollar. I'm an opinionated person, that's what I think.
Well, I think that's. I mean, every market is based on US dollars. I suppose Europe's trying to do its best with the euro. Britain's trying to do its best with the GBP. But realistically, most things are based on a US dollar ratio. And historically, I mean, you look at Central America and South America, inflation, political uneasiness, the whole social history of the countries being ripped off by leaders, by other countries. I really hope I'm hoping El Salvador can show that the Bitcoin, they can use that as a backing. I'm hoping El Salvador will do that. I just got a horrible feeling in the back of my mind it's all going to go horribly wrong for them. Arguably it's going wrong for them now because they bought at that ATH, so they've lost at least half their money. But when I say horribly wrong, I don't want the Bukalele, is it Bukalele? Bukalele, the president. I don't want to see a court case against him for stealing from the country or anything like that, or having a look at his wife's gold reserves under the stairs. It's just the history of all these Central American and South American countries.
Yeah, but if you look at these South American countries, don't forget, a lot of them have high inflation and a lot of them have financial systems which have failed. Yeah, and when you've got high inflation, I mean, Bitcoin and crypto is the obvious, and stable coins like US dollar stable coins are the obvious kind of counter, because, I mean, you might as well hold dollars, basically. And the thing is, whether you hold Bitcoin, if you own Bitcoin, that can be a gateway drug into stable coins, and vice versa. If you hold stable coins, that's a gateway drug to crypto. And I mean, I'm seeing Bitcoin not as a replacement for their currencies, but I'm seeing it as a replacement, I'll admit, just for people. I mean, like when we're talking crypto in this, you can pay your tax with crypto. This is talking about stable coins specifically.
Right. Okay. So a USDT or something.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Bitcoin is, people are going to Bitcoin instead of like buying houses as an investment. Yeah,
I don't think it was ever designed as a store of value, but I think that's the way it has been and the way it's going. Yeah. Basically, long-term Bitcoin is going to go up and up. You're not going to have the fluctuations that we've had over the years. Put it as a little investment pot for the family in the future.
Okay. I guess that could be a good segue into talking about like when you're saying that Bitcoin can't be used as a currency. There is one thing that's happening, and that is the Lightning Network, which is turning into a currency, which is a strange thing in a way. So what do you think about the explosion of the Lightning Network, the Bitcoin Lightning Network? Because I know here in Gibraltar, some shops have even started accepting it, haven't they?
That's right. I mean, I'm a huge fan of the Lightning Network, and it's just some Bitcoin purists will say, "Oh, it's just an altcoin system," or it's obviously a layer one sits on top of the Bitcoin protocol. And as soon as you get onto these layers, you've got problems with not scams, but with people breaking into these layers and whatever. Lightning Network is 99.99% safe.
Are you talking about things like UST getting hacked, or are you talking?
Yeah, I'm saying
okay.
It's going to get hacked as soon as Bitcoin's got the reputation. Oh, you can hack Bitcoin. Oh, Mt. Gox. You can't hack the Bitcoin protocol. You just can't. It's impossible. So what gets hacked is the stuff that uses it. The layer ones, the layer twos, the layers three on top. And that's the thing that can get hacked. Lightning Network is a layer one protocol. I don't think never come across any problems with it. It's just an easy way of doing Bitcoin transactions. Traditionally, if you were to buy a cup of coffee or buy anything with using Bitcoin, you have to wait roughly 30 to 60 minutes for it to be verified properly. So by which time your coffee's gone cold. So the Lightning Network is used so that it can be validated in seconds.
Mm.
My only problem with the Lightning Network, and I don't quite understand, it's been around for 4, maybe 5 years.
Mm.
And I've never seen it really take off. Whether I'm noticing it, like you just said, it's starting to take off the last few months. It's hard to tell because obviously we're involved in this sphere. So we see it, oh look, a shop is taking it. Well, there's a million shops that are not taking it. So, it's hard to see it. I'd love to see it take off. But for some reason, it hasn't quite taken off. And I say in Gibraltar, there's shops using it, but there's at least 10 times shops not using it.
100 times as many not using it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you could have said the same thing about Bitcoin, like coming out in 2009 and 2014, people were still, 2016, people were saying this is never going to happen. I mean,
yeah, totally.
Yeah. So, I mean, that took a long time. And don't forget, I mean, the Lightning Network I think that it will be one of those things which people will see, and it will be like an overnight 5-year success. And suddenly in 6 months' time, people will be saying to you, "Oh, did you get into the Lightning? Did you buy any Lightning Network tokens?" And there isn't a token for it. But
yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty. If anyone's interested in it, just obviously Google it for a start. And there's really easy wallets out there that I use various ones, Blue Wallet, and they're just easy to use. It's normally scanned with a QR code to buy, sell. It's really easy to use.
It's basically just for anyone who doesn't know what it is. So Lightning Network is basically Bitcoin that you can transfer tiny amounts, and it's instant, milliseconds. I mean, for me, I think the reason it hasn't taken off yet is to do with like streaming media, because the killer use case for a Lightning Network, it's not like buying something in a shop. In a shop, you can just pay with a credit card. I think the killer use case is when you're watching, like, say, Spotify, and the artist gets paid per song while you're watching it in real time. Yeah. It's real-time payments, basically. So I don't think shop payments is the killer use case. I think it's going to be streaming media.
Well, I'll disagree. I will disagree. Purely, I think people don't realize if you do pay with your card or credit card, the merchant doesn't get paid for 2 or 3 days. And 99.9999%, that's all fine. Sometimes something happens, stolen credit card, stolen, something like that. With the Lightning Network, it is instant. That merchant gets the money straight away.
Oh, that is true. Yeah. Okay. There is that. Yes. Yeah, there is that. That's correct. And actually, in Strike, a company in the United States has already got the Lightning Network on NCR cash registers, which is the largest cash register company in the States. Mm-hmm. So by the end of this year, you'll be able to pay a McDonald's basically with Bitcoin.
Brilliant. I mean,
I'm not recommending anyone should do that.
Well, McDonald's
or you can go to Walmart, I think, as well.
But there are other layer 1 payment systems out there. RSK is one. And again, none of them have really taken off. But certainly with the RSK, you're waiting, and it's just not out there. But the Lightning Network is getting there. I'd like to see it within months. See signs for it in the shops everywhere. As you're saying, paying online is nice and easy with it. It's simple.
I think RSK is based on. I think they're based in Gibraltar, actually. The thing is, there's been a few like layer 2s or like smart contract platforms on top of Bitcoin, like Stacks, for example, in the States. That's taken off quite a bit. RSK is Ethereum compatible, and it's never really taken off past a core group of people, but they are coming up with something, because like the biggest app on RSK is Sovryn, and Sovryn is I think that's funded by Anthony Pompliano, who's this who's quite a big in Bitcoin podcasting, and what they're doing is they're coming up with a 0% Bitcoin loan, so that you can stake your Bitcoin and you can get US dollar loans and 0 interest. So, of course, if the Bitcoin price falls, you lose your Bitcoin, but if it goes up, you just pay off the loan. So it will have some uses, but I think that's going to be out soon. They've been testing it for the past several months, and I think it's based on something called on Ethereum called Ethenity. I can't remember, but there's been an Ethereum protocol which lets you do these loans for a long time, and I think this Bitcoin 0% interest loan is based on that.
That's okay. So it's got to be regulated then if you're giving out USD loans. Then is that?
Well, this is the thing. There's USD and there's USD. Yeah. So some of these stable coins which have these USD if someone pays out in USDC and they're based in someone's bedroom in the Philippines, who regulates them?
Yeah.
I think they just keep quiet. They just sit on the internet and keep quiet.
Yeah. But then we get the bad rep, the scams and whatever. I mean, I think we talked about it before. Regulation has got to come in, but it's a double-edged sword. So,
well, you've got things where projects are scams just trying to steal money, but then you've also got the thing where people know they'll be shut down if they go public. So I know in places like in Scandinavia, companies just keep quiet, and if their project gets any traction, they move to places like Dubai or El Salvador. So if they get like $20 to $50 million in value in their platform, then they're like, okay, this is a bit big to just keep quiet now, and then they move. Well, that's what they were doing last year anyway.
Don't say any names.
I don't know any names. Okay, so okay.
Good.
Yeah. The next one, the ADA hard fork. This is Cardano. So I know a lot of people who are big fans of Cardano and Charles Hodgkinson, and I like their idea. I sometimes do get worried that they're not Ethereum compatible. And I do worry that they're trying to make everything perfect. And I always also think that Solana is like the Windows of the crypto world. They just get stuff out there fast. They've got Solana phone, they've got fast transactions, they've got all, and even I heard that Helium's moving to Solana. And people are even talking about Magic Eden, the Solana-based NFT marketplace that could replace OpenSea. So I'm just like, Solana, at the end of the day, whoever gets the apps wins the platform. Like in the 90s, remember, like all the apps were on Windows. Even though OS2 was better technically and a nicer experience, people used Windows because that's where the apps were.
Yeah, but again, if you're pumping it out, mistakes are made, and
Windows had loads of mistakes and errors, but people still used it because the apps were there, and so that's what Solana's doing. And is it that ADA is going to be like the Unix of the crypto world, or are they, or are they going to win the whole thing?
Why isn't ADA Ethereum compatible then? Can it be?
Well, okay. Here's the thing in the crypto world is, so Ethereum, of course, came out with the first blockchain. And then you got all these like Ethereum compatible ones like Polygon, I think Tezos, and a whole bunch of others. And what it meant is if someone had made an application for Ethereum, they could port it to another blockchain. Yeah. So sometimes you'd get a lot of these companies they'd make an app on Ethereum and then it would move to other chains. But then some companies would actually say, like I interviewed, for example, Radix, who have their own language, Scripto, and then you have Solana has Rust. And these other companies have their own languages, and their languages are often they try and make like programming crypto safer, so it's harder to hack. and they try and do stuff which is more scalable, so they can make a faster blockchain. It's just, but they're not. But at the end of the day, they're not.
Or not.
So, sorry.
Can it be bridged onto Ethereum, or is it just completely?
Well, I think these like talk in that some Ethereum apps can be compiled to run on either on both Solana and on Cardano, but at the end of the day, it's not just porting over the code. There's also the ecosystem. Like, will it work with MetaMask? Like, for me, MetaMask is 90% of Web3. If it doesn't work with MetaMask, you're fighting an uphill battle. Yeah. Now, Solana seems to be one of the only chains which is going against the grain there, because Solana doesn't work with MetaMask, but Solana they've made their own like they care about things like user interface and user experience, and that's driving people to Solana.
Solana's cheap as well.
Well, define cheap.
Well, I don't know, 0.01 pence to use it and things like that. Whereas Ethereum,
transactions, correct,
Whereas Ethereum is and can be absolutely insane,
and it's fast too. I mean, Solana itself is worth $16 billion today, so. I mean, it's probably a bit similar to what Cardano is. I don't know what Cardano's market cap is, but let's see. Cardano's market cap is 50. It's the same as Solana. But the thing is, I keep hearing about all these apps being developed on Cardano. But I just get worried when people don't release stuff publicly. And when they're not MetaMask compatible.
Getting it perfect before they do release it.
Yeah, and it's never a good idea in startup land either to try and release the perfect product. You need to get user feedback, and one piece of feedback on Cardano is, why don't you work with MetaMask? Because that's what tens of millions of people have installed on their computer. You can't just try Cardano unless you install this specific wallet.
I totally agree. I'm looking at my screen and I've got MetaMask on here now.
Yeah. You have MetaMask. Do you have the Cardano? Okay, let me ask you something. Do you have the Cardano wallet?
Do I have no?
Do you even know what it's called?
No.
See, that's two barriers there, just there. If there's a way to make Cardano work with MetaMask, yes, that could work. Okay. Let's go to another item. I won't talk about the drive chain thing. Let's skip that. I don't have a good enough opinion on it. I could see Snoop, Dogg, and Eminem trying to push their bags of NFTs. And I think all these people who've bought expensive Bored Ape, Yacht Club NFTs are now they see the value plummeting. They're trying to push their bags up. And so they went on stage at some music awards and people just thought it was bad.
Well, they're all sold out. They released a video. Have you seen the video
of Eminem? No.
Eminem and Snoop Dogg. It's a very good video. Remember the old? Not old. It was Damon Albarn's second band, Gorillaz. No,
Gorillaz. Yeah.
Gorillaz were there.
Yeah.
So it's very much like that. They've got the live action, but with this gorilla style NFTs in it. Obviously of the apes, and I'm 99.999% sure they're all sold out.
Okay. So maybe there's something there. Okay. Maybe there's something.
And I think obviously the NFTs are getting more and more mainstream. I think it was Cartier or someone released some NFTs recently. One of these big jewelry companies. Again, they're sold out. Limited edition stuff is all sold out. Whether this is people buying them, right? Let's take a punt. Let's buy this for 100,000. Let's buy another one for 100,000. Let's buy another one for 100,000. I mean, it's big money that you're talking. hopefully they're going to sell one for 100 million then. I presume.
Yeah, but here's the things. I personally think the NFT use case of just buying it as art, I think most of that bubble has gone. I think the use case that's coming is token gating. That kind of moves on to another news item where we had a US restaurant was trying to sell a $1,000 NFT so that people could book tables, and people hated it, but I think it's the future. I think if you have a favorite restaurant that you like to go to, I think people will start buying NFTs for that restaurant, especially if you can resell it later for more.
When was this? When was this news article from?
This is, I think this was from a few days ago, actually.
All right, because there's one. It's very similar to this about a year ago. Sounds very similar. I don't know if it was. I'm sure it was a restaurant. I'm thinking nightclub was a restaurant, and you would buy it for X amount. But that just gave you access. It didn't give you your meal or anything like that, and also you couldn't pass it on to anyone.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think, yeah, okay. So it has to be something you can pass on. Like, I think, like for example, I know there's something called like London Club or something, or Crypto Club in London, and you get an NFT. It's on your phone, and I think basically it's a better ticket system. That's what NFTs are going to be. And I think like if you go to a football match, it will come in the form of an NFT, especially as the technology gets standardized. You'll go to a venue and they might have on the door, we accept Solana, NFTs, Ethereum, and Polygon. And then maybe you'll get an app which can handle all of them. And I think, you just scan a QR code, you go to your phone, you say authorize NFT for 10 minutes, scan it at the door. And I think it stops a lot of this forgeries and having to check if the tickets are valid. So making queues go faster is a huge use case, I think.
But why? I mean, I'm a big fan of NFT and they've got plenty of use cases. But when you think about it, what's the difference between I buy my ticket online, they send me a QR code. I go up, show my phone the QR code to a ticket office, poof, and I go. Why do I need a picture of a monkey?
Well, you don't. Well, the picture is the NFTs are actually nothing to do with the pictures, and this is why I think the art boom has gone. Really, they're just keys to say, I am this unique. Like you could say, I hold this unique Bored Ape, for example. And what it does is, because it's a standardized thing, it means that you don't end up with 50 different ticketing systems. Like every time I end up buying tickets from places, it just ends up like I have all these different apps on my phone. And it would be nice just to have, just to store my NFTs in Apple Wallet. And okay. But the other thing it lets you do is when you go online to some sites, you can use your NFT. Like for example, they can say anyone who's a Bored Ape Yacht Club member will get these benefits too. And I mean, I don't know if you've listened, how many, like on some of the other episodes, I've talked to people about where I see use cases for NFTs. So say, for example, you have certain NFTs on your phone, you might go to like a shop, like a Gucci shop, and they'll say, scan your NFT. To get access, you have to scan your phone. And you might scan it and they might say, sorry, you're too poor. Yeah, but they won't say that. They'll just say, like, if you don't own like, say $500,000 of NFTs, then basically you won't get access. Or if you don't own a Gucci NFT, and then you might also get the case where people end up with like buying $100,000 of Gucci NFTs, and every time they go in a store, they get super treatment. I think it's just a way to like filter people, basically.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, the problem is, I suppose, if you got all these NFTs on all the different systems, as you said, I think you need one simple wallet that can handle all this, as you say, like the Metamask or something like that, and you just the easiest. I mean, it's Metamask. Obviously, if you're into crypto, you're going to use it, but it's a bit confusing to start using it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Don't forget, people can come out with different wallets. That's the beauty of crypto. Someone could come out with a better MetaMask, but they haven't. They haven't made it a wallet which is better, which is good enough that people are switching from MetaMask. But it could happen.
Yeah. But I'm talking about the masses, you know, and say, like, you bought your ticket, here's your NFT. Where's my NFT? What? Where? You know? Oh, it's in your wallet.
Wallet?
You know, so yes, NFT massive use case. But again, I mean, I've bought and sold many NFTs, taught people how to create wallets, how to make NFTs. It is confusing. The OpenSeas are nice and you know, OpenSea or any of these things. Wax is a nice easy one to use the Wax protocol for doing NFT art or collectibles, and it takes you through step by step. But if you're not crypto savvy, you need someone to hold your hand. You know.
Well, I think UX is a big thing. I mean, I think whether it's MetaMask or OpenSea or what's it, Magic Eden or Mintable or one of these companies, you know, like someone's has to figure out the UX. But anyway, I think the future for NFTs is just proof of ownership, that you own something of value. Or it might be that, you know, it might even be that you've been somewhere, like you go to a cafe, every time you're there, you scan your phone, you get a little NFT, you know.
There's a lot of users in a loyalty card, something like this.
Yeah.
And NFTs, and you get your free coffee.
We're still in early days for that, but okay. Okay, so what should we talk about next? Do you want to talk about DApp Radar or the Avax scandal?
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll do DApp Radar quickly, just because I'm a fan of it. And I think you're a fan of it now.
Yeah. Would you like to say what it is?
Yeah. It's a nice website. I think it's even an app, and it just tells you everything about NFTs, gaming, all the tokens associated with gaming, all the blockchains. It's just a really good, easy, quick check. The problem is, can we do visuals on this?
Oh, we can, but I'll kind of mess up my whole screen thing. But we can spell it out. It's DAPP.
Yeah, we'll work on that. If you go to dappradar.com, it's a one-stop shop. It tells you what's hot, what's not, and it all goes by volume, what's selling. If you can look at Bored Apes on there, and they'll tell you what the market volume is, the trading volume, everything. What the last one was sold for, if in fact any of them are being sold anymore, and it will tell you all of that. So before you do, if you are getting interested in NFTs or gaming, Axie Infinity, all of these things, have a little look on there before you go out and buy anything. It's a little snippet of everything that goes on.
Okay, great. Okay, so should we then move on to the Avalanche scandal? So I don't know if you heard about this, but Avalanche seem to be suing everyone. They've partnered with a law firm and they've been suing everyone in the blockchain space. And I don't know. It just makes me not want to use them. Because when Avalanche, when they first came out, I heard all this stuff. Oh, we're the fastest blockchain. You know, like finding like we're Ethereum compatible and we're super fast. And then I used them for like a few months, and they were super slow.
Oh, really? I never.
And I had so many problems confirming transactions. I was just like, "Come on, this is BS."
Yeah.
And now I hear they're suing everyone. I'm just like.
But they're suing people for a certain reason, isn't it?
Well,
so if you badmouth the competition,
well, they're suing people, I think, to get their private information, because when you sue someone, you have to exchange information, financial information, and other stuff. So,
right.
I don't know if these. I don't know if this is a strategy, but I don't like this sort of thing. It's like if you're going to have a blockchain, keep it open, just Just tell people the truth. Don't do all of this, skull and crossbones pirate stuff, in the background. Just be nice people.
Right. But I mean, this is the problem. This has had a lot of press, but this has been going on for hundreds of years in the normal financial world. This is nothing new. There's absolutely nothing new. Companies have come and gone from other companies bad mouthing them and suing them. So this isn't anything unique to crypto.
Correct. All right.
This is just something that happens in a competition and any competitive market.
Sure. Yeah. Sure it is. Yeah. I guess the moral of this is just be nice to people. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Where Iran is allowing crypto imports. And I think this is interesting because I think this goes, sometimes I think that there's players in the world who are super smart and they realize that crypto is going to save them because at the end of the day, like you've got the petrodollar. So the US dollar is supporting cryptocurrency, is supporting oil and the US dollar. And it's in the USA is, I would say, the biggest power in the earth. And they should be doing everything they can to get people to not switch to other currencies. And so now I see that places are saying, oh, we're going to start accepting Bitcoin or, some people or other currencies, for oil and imports. And I think the more that people get sanctions against them, the more likely they're going to switch to Bitcoin.
Yeah, because you can't really sanction that. You can't, Bitcoin isn't anonymous. A lot of these cryptos aren't anonymous. They're pseudonymous, so you can find out where these wallets are. I suppose the whole ethos of Bitcoin, the first cryptocurrency, the first blockchain, was to try and be as anonymous as you can and get away from fiat, get away from the US dollar. If countries are doing that within their own banking system, then there's got to be a step forward.
Yeah, but do you think? Do you think it's disrupting the world order? Sorry for such an uncomfortable question, but
I think that might be a bit naive. As again, how many countries are we in the world? 230, 240 countries in the world. We've got El Salvador using it. We talked about some states in Argentina using Bitcoin, and you've got Iran now using it. Let's say in the next 5 years, there's 3 more countries who might be using Bitcoin. It's still naive to think that it's going to change the world and the world banking system. Yeah,
I don't think Bitcoin's supposed to change the world banking system. I think it's just basically portable assets. Because if you've got a house and you're trying to leave a country, you can't just sell that house. You have to go through all this government stuff. It might take you months or weeks. Yeah. With Bitcoin, you just go. People have just memorized their password. My memory's not good enough, unfortunately. But people memorize their password and they just leave. So it's just portable assets. And I think I don't know how it can be stopped.
Well, you can't. Obviously, in the Western world, and I would say the vast majority of the countries in the world, any huge asset like a house, a car, you've got to go through a process of buying and selling it through solicitors or something like that. So I don't think it's quite as easy as saying, like, here's my house, I'm selling it, you buy it. You can't go into a Mercedes showroom now and hand over £50,000 in cash for a Mercedes.
No.
The police will be there within 5 minutes. So it's the same as Bitcoin. You can't walk in there and say, I'll give you one Bitcoin for this Mercedes. I'd like to think it can happen. I can't see it happening.
I think it depends where you live. I mean, a highly regulated place like where we are, Gibraltar, you can't do that. But I think some of these Bitcoin islands, or maybe El Salvador, maybe you can.
Yeah, I'd like to think we can. And obviously, I mean, the huge use case for any cryptocurrency and things like that is in some of the African countries where you haven't got access to banking. You may be paid in cash. You've obviously got problems then being stolen, cash stolen. But a vast majority of people have mobile phones. You've got your wallet on there. And for me, that's ideal. You know.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Okay.
Whether you could walk into again a Mercedes showroom in Nigeria and buy a £50,000 car with Bitcoin or cash, I don't know.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm sure they will take anything. No offense to Nigeria, but yeah.
Actually, Nigeria is probably a lot further ahead with Bitcoin and stuff like that than we are here, because a lot of people they're much more educated, the general population.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we've got time for one more item. What should we do? Should we do the Mark Cuban slams SEC? Coinbase says transaction fee model won't work long term, or Ethereum merge? You choose. You can choose the last item.
I'll choose the last one, and it will be the last because I will have to shoot. Go on then, Mark Cuban. Go on.
Okay, so Mark Cuban, he slammed. So the SEC has kind of dragged their feet on crypto regulation for a long time, and now they're just saying, and now that the whole space has exploded, they've kind of said, oh. You should just follow our normal guidelines. So basically, they haven't come up with any regulation. And now they're saying, oh, if you ever had an issue, you should come and talk to us. But I do remember with the Coinbase saga, I think when they bought Earn.com, and I think the SEC went quiet on them. And the Coinbase said, what are we supposed to do? And I think they went quiet. So I think Mark Cuban, who basically kind of invented internet video, by the way, and he had something called download.com, in case you don't know who he is. And he also hosts something called Shark Tank, for anyone who doesn't know him. So Mark Cuban has said, who do we talk to? You know, it kind of sounds like the SEC is just, you know, trying to cover their arse or something of why they don't have regulation. And no one really understands it. So I'm kind of on Mark Cuban's side here. You know, you can't like crypto companies have been saying, give us guidance. We want firm guidance. And it just hasn't happened.
The regulators have to be able to regulate, but they have to have the knowledge to regulate. So I think crypto is moving so fast forward. They are catching up, the regulators. And we see in Gibraltar how it's happening. And the US is, I say, get more advanced than the UK. UK, you have crypto assets. They're almost like shares, they're calling them, because it's classed as share because they don't know what else to do with it. Well, it'd be quite easy to go and talk to people who are creating these crypto companies, showing how the blockchain works, showing how this. Well, they should be feeding back to the regulators saying, right, well, this is what needs to be done for this, for that. So I think it's getting there. It is getting there, another few years. And the more regulation, I say, double-edged sword, more KYC, more AML, and more tax for the government. So the government's not going, any government's not going to want to miss out on any sort of tax.
Okay. But I think they are. I mean, by not having regulation, people can skim the rules, and they're making saying this stuff like anything over $1,000 has to be reported. I mean, I don't think they get crypto yet. That's the thing.
No, they don't. I think America is definitely getting there, but again, you're at the it's like the Dutch boy. That Dutch boy putting his finger in the dam, and then there's the next. And then,
You know, and the Dutch boy's the government, is it?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Well, really, and then He should be sitting on the top with his mates, working out. All right, this is what we need to do for the future. So,
and then crypto is just going to flood in at some point.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I think I like that. Okay, so I think we can end it there. So thanks a lot for your time today, Mark. And
thank you for having me.
And we'll see you all next week as well. So same time.
Can we say thank you to how many people did we have watching? Was it 2?
Oh, we had about 4 people, I think, at one point.
Oh, well, thank you.
So, but it was a slow start, but it's the first time we're doing this. So
exactly.
yeah, and also thank you to Damex,
yes.
And thanks to your company Knightsbridge for giving you the time off for this.
No, so, always welcome. Look forward to it next week. And if there are any more viewers next week, please be free to ask us a question.
Sure. Or maybe what we'll do is if there's any questions, we can also get them before the show starts as well. So
you're on fire. You're on fire.
All right. Thanks a lot. All right.
Thank you, Zubair. And
Thanks.
Thank you, Danny. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.